You didn't learn to ride a bike by reading about it in a book. You didn't learn to walk as a baby by looking up tutorials on YouTube. In science class, you couldn't understand how a volcano works just by looking at pictures of one in a textbook. It clicked for you one day when you made it by hand. I think we waste a lot of time being too afraid to suck at something new. We think, when I have more time, when I have more money, when I have more knowledge, when I have more materials, when I have a better camera or a nicer sewing machine or a bigger easel to paint on, then I'll finally sit down and learn how to do XYZ. We miss the point that the learning is only ever in the doing. The growing is in the failing forward. The succeeding is in being humble enough to first lose. Because actually, the success isn't in what you created after all, like we like to think it is. And that's why we never begin in the first place. We don't begin because we think that the grand prize is what we complete. And since we don't have the confidence to complete it perfectly, we let it die in our imagination. This is backwards because success is in the creating, not the creation. Success is in the fact that you face the voices viciously spinning around inside your head, disguised as logical excuses, masking the real enemy: fear. Success is when you're able to let the perfectionism fade to the wayside so that life can take its place. It's when you realize that there is so much joy in just allowing yourself to make without any attachment to what the end product might look like. Because in the making, there's also learning and memories and life. I can't remember the 7 hours I spent learning how to sew a stuffed animal, but I'll always remember the hours I spent cutting and pinning and sewing while listening to my favorite music and watching the sun beam in and out of my den. I'll always remember the way those hours felt for me. Feelings that a tutorial could never have given me. And my distorted elephant may not look the prettiest, but I learned how to make the next one better through the mistakes that I made. And now every time that I look at that elephant, I'll feel joy because it'll bring me back to the moment I felt most present in my life. And it'll also remind me of the time when I threw every single excuse for why I shouldn't try to make it out the window the next time that I feel stuck again. Because it's proof that even though I didn't know how, I still found a way. There is a time to consume and there's a time to create. You cannot do both at the same time. So you have to finally choose which one it's going to be today.